Call the meeting to order. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, all members are present. Approval of the agenda, we have 2 additions. We have 7K firefighter resignation and 7L approve installation of traffic control signs. Is there any other changes to the council? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda with those 2 additions?
Motion. I'll second.
Okay, motion by Heidi, second by Diane. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. Approval of the minutes of the August 19th, 2023 meeting. I'll receive them in your packet. Is there any changes, corrections, or clarification needed on anything in those minutes? Hearing nothing, do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the August 19th meeting?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Diane, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Heidi. Call the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm going to abstain.
Okay. Be 4 in favor, none against, 1 abstention. This brings us to our public open forum. Is there anyone here that wants to speak to the council? Is there anyone here that would like to speak to the council? Is there anyone here that would like to speak to the council? Our public open forum is now closed. We have no public hearings tonight. We have reports and presentations. City Engineer Keith.
All right, good evening, Mayor and Council. Update on a few of the projects going on. South Industrial Park, I mentioned before that we're basically almost finished. Actually, tomorrow, I think the last little item in the lift station will be completed tomorrow, and we should actually officially be done with that project. So we can, there'll be a pay request coming to you probably at the next council meeting, and probably one more for a final payment after that. So that we'll button up that project and be all ready to go out there. 2nd Street South project, the paving has finally been all completed on the project, so that is done. All work with the exception of the restoration or re-restoration, I guess, of the seating. And that actually started today, actually. So they started, so it's the repair will be a combination of, first of all, herbicide to kill all the weeds and things in there, as well as then reseeding and reapplication of fertilizer in there to get that to go. And we're just getting into that time of the season where we can get growth now. We're thankfully, I think, through the hot stuff of the summer, so we can start growing, and hopefully that will take nicely and be the product that it's supposed to be for the residents out there. So we'll be monitoring that, but that just started today, actually. So that's where the only thing going on really in that project. Author's Edition, you've probably noticed also that at least the driving portion of the intersection has been completed up there, so that's all been paved through, and all the curb is in. There is going to be some removal of curb, and they missed a ped ramp in the southeast quadrant of the intersection, so we're going to have to pull some of that out and redo and put a ped ramp in through there. So that was, unfortunately, the contractor missed it, and we missed it as well when they did that. Other than that, everything's paved in the development. Everything, we're waiting for the small utilities to complete. The thing left is the gas mains, which I think some of that is an action item here later. They intend to be there the week of the 11th. So we're holding off on the sidewalk portion until they get all that done. And then we'll immediately come in and do the sidewalk and the pathway and get that finished, do last seeding and stuff before winter rolls in, and that project will be essentially done and ready to go until Final wear course will be next year, and the final little punch list items, that kind of thing. So that's where we're at with the projects. I'll be happy to entertain any questions you may have.
Any questions? Anything like that? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Park Board report?
So the Park Board met last night, Tuesday, September 5th. That was a regular meeting. They did receive the Public Works report about park-related activities. They discussed the campground cost to upgrade to the internet. Charter Spectrum is burying fiber past the campground, and so we are getting a drop to the campground shed for fiber. And then RV gave us an estimate, which we received today, for the installation of the infrastructure. We'll bring that back to the council, next council meeting, rather than try to turn it around tonight. We did talk about the impact of golf carts on the city parks, and we kind of mentioned that earlier, if that's something we want to look at. And they do have a recommendation on the 2024 seasonal camping rate. That's an action item later tonight. They are recommending we begin the search for the 2024 campground manager right away, so that we have somebody in place through the work camper membership, which we reach out all across the country. We have the Sand Pro sand rake replacement recommendation tonight in the meeting as well. And they also looked at some Christmas decor for the park. One of the, in the Sinclair Lewis Park, where we have the police car and the tractor and the fire truck, there is what's called a happy camper, which is a pickup pulling a camper, and they're recommending we move forward with that purchase. Also the update on the Boy Girl Fountain, which is under construction right now, I guess. They've made the clay sculpture of it now, and now it's being converted to fiberglass and will be shipped. We should have that here by Christmas to turn around to have it painted and ready for installation in the spring. And also we talked about needed improvements at the Little Red Schoolhouse and how we proceed with that. And so we have a couple action items tonight that I just mentioned earlier. Any questions?
Questions? Okay. EDA report?
The EDA met today at noon, a regular session. We did receive the report from the Chamber of Commerce. We do recommend a marketing plan for authors edition lots. They did want to authorize the natural gas installation on South Industrial Park. That's one of those unfinished items. Natural gas is not installed in industrial parks until after the business starts, unlike residential where they put them in right away. So that's something that's going to move forward down there, as Keith mentioned. They did recommend pursuing a lien on property for unpaid TIF application fees, and that's something we'd have to go through a legal system because then that's not really an assessment, so it'd be a lien. And then also we do have a rental rehab housing SCDP loan/grant application that they'll be reviewing in more in depth at their next meeting. So, it for the EDA.
Okay, any questions on that? Okay, thank you. We'll move into action items. 7A, approve appointment of part-time police officer.
So we have two of our part-time officers will no longer be taking call with the city. We have other plans. One is moving out of state. And so in order to fill shifts, the department is requesting the city appoint an officer for this part-time position. They do have a candidate that has completed the educational requirements, but she would need to pass the post-board exam. She's been working as a jailer in the judicial system for several years. So what they're requesting is to approve the appointment of Letitia Harden as a part-time patrol officer contingent upon passage of the post-board exam and background review.
Okay, questions, comments? Do I have a motion to approve the appointment?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Shallen, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Joe. Call the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7B, approve resolution 2023-52 adopting 2024 budget.
So this is following the meeting that we had, the workshop meeting regarding the budget. We incorporated the changes, and they're summarized here by general fund, sinking fund, special revenue, TIF, debt service, and capital projects. The total expenses for 2024 is budgeted at $11,066,679.35. That's actually down from last year because we have less capital improvement projects that we're working on. So we're looking to approve the 2023-52 preliminary budget for 2024. That resolution does list out by fund all of the different total budgeted items. And this also approves the revenue side to support that budget.
Any questions? Otherwise, do I have a motion to approve Resolution 2023-52?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Heidi, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Diane. Any other discussion? Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7C, approve Resolution 2023-53, adopting 2024 levy.
So this levy is the levy that was proposed at the budget workshop meeting. The final levy will be considered at a public meeting on December 6th, 2023 at 6:30 PM. Everybody in the taxing district will be notified of that meeting along with their proposed property tax for 2024. This is a total general fund budget of $1,794,128, special revenue funds of $188,500, debt service of $526,000, for a total 2024 levy of $2,508,628. This includes that 10% levy increase overall that you had recommended at the preliminary meeting. So it's Resolution 2023-53, adopting the preliminary tax levy collectible in 2024.
Questions, comments? Otherwise, I will be looking for a motion to approve Resolution number 2023-53.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Heidi,
Second.
second by Diane. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7D, approve CenterPoint Energy Gas Installation, South Industrial Park.
This is what we had referred to earlier. With the new building now under construction in the South Industrial Park, CenterPoint Energy is now poised to run the gas mains through to development. Like I said, with industrial plats, CenterPoint does not install the lines until construction begins, and they have a better idea of the size of the mains they need to install. So the city's estimated share at this time is $14,368. So that's the latest estimate that I have, and of course, that's based on the number of feet run. So if it runs a little bit more or a little bit less, it would vary from that slightly. So we're looking to approve proceeding with the natural gas installation in the South Industrial Park.
Questions? Comments? Do I have a motion to approve proceeding with the natural gas installation?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Joe, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Go ahead.
Second by Heidi. I heard her first.
Yep.
Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7E, approve CenterPoint Energy Gas Installation for Authors Edition.
So as Keith had mentioned, CenterPoint will be on site. Actually, they're going to be on site this week with their design team to scope out the proposed installation and to call in the locates. And then next week, September 11th week, is where Michaels will be in there doing the actual boring and the installation. This will immediately be followed by the grading and installation of sidewalks, as Keith said. The city, as a developer, is responsible for the cost of installation of the gas mains. It's because we're the developer, not because we're the city. And I do not have the final estimate that they were supposed to have, but when I spoke to them, it's less footage than they have to put in the industrial park. So kind of gives you an idea. And so we're looking to approve the installation to have them approve running the natural gas through Authors Edition.
Questions or comments? Do I have a motion to approve the installation of natural gas in Authors Edition?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Diane, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Shellen. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7F, approve resolution 2023-54, approving nuisance ordinance violation order.
So following multiple resident complaints of property located at the corner of Ash and 8th Street South, and also attempts by staff to resolve those complaints, it's time for the next steps to be taken to ensure compliance with the city code. So we did put an attached resolution together, which essentially directs staff to take certain steps, which will be followed up by legal. Excuse me. So first, inform residents at 727 and 731 Ash Street South
that the city intends to pursue all avenues to attain compliance with the city code, including administrative, legal, and judicial, up to and including proceeding to a court of law regarding multiple alleged nuisance violations on the property. Number 2, to inform the residents of items to be resolved, including but not limited to resolve barking dogs and ensure number of dogs is compliant with code, complete all the dog fecal removal from all areas of the property, remove all junk cars on the property, ensure current licensure of all vehicles and trailers, including travel trailer, remove all garbage, trash, discarded furniture, tires, and the like, remove the fire pit from the front yard due to failure to meet 25-foot separation, remove piles of wood which are known to harbor rodents, and maintain the property in a neat and orderly fashion, and to report progress back to the city council each month until resolved. And that is put together as Resolution 2023-54, ordering the abatement of the nuisance violations of city code. If there's something else you want to have stricken or added, now is the time to do it.
Questions, comments?
I guess the only question I really had was, on item number 4, report progress back to the city council each month until it's resolved. I guess that kind of leaves, to me, that leaves things a little bit open-ended. I know that,
So we have a time frame where you send them a letter, and then they have like 14 days, and then that just kind of sets the time. But then when it goes to the attorney, then there's more time. So a month from now, you would receive a report. At that time, it would likely be in the city attorney's hands, and we'd report what that progress is. If it goes to the point of a court of law, it could be months
Okay.
to get an injunction. So just kind of like to keep you informed as each step of the way goes on. We can't just like get a dumpster and go out there and have it done in 14 days. That's not quite how it works.
sure.
They have to get back to us within 10 to 14 days on how they are going to proceed on doing it though, right?
They have to get back to us, I think it's 10 days. They have to
10 days.
respond to us from 10 days from the receipt of the registered letter. So when we send it, when they receive it, then they have 10 days to respond back to us to say what their plans are to get it done. And then we could say, okay, you have 10 days to get this done, or they're going to give us a plan. We can give them a plan, or they can give us a plan. I plan to do this and this and this and this, and then they'll give us a time frame that they're able to do it. So if we're making progress along the way, that's one way, but if they absolutely ignore us and it goes straight to the attorney is the other way. So we'll just keep you apprised of what's happening.
So at 10 days without that abatement plan, then we'll go straight to attorney.
10 days of ignoring us, it likely would go just straight to him to send them the next letter.
The only situation there is if they refuse to sign for the registered letter.
If they don't sign, I think there's 3 attempts that the post office makes, and if they don't sign, then the police can deliver it, and then they sign an affidavit, and that's the same as sending it certified.
Okay. So either way, they're going to get it.
Right.
Okay. Sounds good. Any other questions?
I have one. I know I've been getting a lot of letters of complaint up on Lakeshore Drive about an illegal bed and breakfast.
Well, this is totally different,
Yeah, I know.
separate, so we can't
I know,
mix the two, so.
but we're going to have to deal with it sooner or
Yeah.
later, too.
I don't know what you're talking about, so you'll have to talk to me after.
Yeah.
Will do.
So, okay. Do I have a motion to approve Resolution 2023-54?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, motion by Diane. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Heidi. Any other questions or comments? Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7G, approved 2024 seasonal camping rate.
So now's the time of the year when the seasonal campers let us know of their intent to return the next year, because they have first dibs on their site for the next year. And so they always want to, of course, know what the price is going to be. So the park board met last night, and they are recommending a 2024 seasonal camping rate of $2,700. A part of that justification for the $2,700 was the upgrades to the internet that are expected. And that would be included in that price versus everybody having to individually purchase. So that was kind of their justification for taking that $200 jump. So what we're looking tonight to do is to set the 2024 seasonal camping rate at $2,700, which is still lower than a lot of neighboring areas.
Questions, concerns?
What is our seasonal dates? It's from May 1st through
to
October.
September 30th. It's 5 months.
So it'd be $40 a month, roughly.
Right. Not roughly, exactly.
Exactly. So it's cheaper than most people have for their in-home Wi-Fi service. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, the Wi-Fi down there, if you bought it monthly, is $30 a month.
If you bought it, it would be how much?
Right, if you subscribe to it while you're in the campground right now as a seasonal camper, you can buy a monthly rate for $30 a month.
And
of the
that's through which
existing
service?
system.
Through this, which service are they getting
Through
it
the
through?
existing one at Brandon Communications, or Gardenville, I should say. So that would discontinue. That's kind of old stuff. And then the new would come in with the fiber.
And there are current complaints about the availability at times.
The quality of it, you know, it was 7 years ago when we put it in, it was what you could get. It was good. But it's not up to par now of what people's expectations are. And plus, it's the way you log in and create an account and purchase it is very cumbersome.
Okay.
And a lot of people can't figure it out. So,
Okay. Any other questions? Otherwise, do I have a motion to set the 2024 seasonal camping rate at 2,700?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Shallen, seconded by Joe. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7H, approve resolution 2023-55 approving purchase of Sand Pro.
So the city right now has a 1998 Sand Pro sand rake that we purchased used back then. The equipment is used to rake and level the infields of the ball fields, for preparing grass areas for seed, for maintaining the sand at the playground and for at the beach. So they use it quite often. The Public Works Department requested, and now the Park Board is recommending that we purchase a new to us, used Sand Pro. We did get quotes for 2 used Sand Pros. Unfortunately, the 2 I put in there, the 2018 Toro has been sold, but the 2017 Toro for $13,995 is available. It has 1,700 hours on it. And also, there's another 2017 Toro from the same company for $14,995, which actually has a brand-new motor in it. I think that to purchase one or the other, it would probably be more prudent to take the $14,995 simply because it does have the new motor in it, and it would last for a much longer than the other unit. So the Park Board is recommending that we do purchase. Of course, last night it was the one that was available, but now, or the one with the new motor is what they're recommending that we move forward. So we'd like to approve Resolution 2023-55, authorizing the purchase of the Sand Pro.
Okay. Questions?
Did we have this in the budget from last year, or is this an
That's for a
addition?
2023 budget. It's in the the existing budget, yes.
So we had listed this out in the 2023? I didn't look back to see if this
Yeah.
was a request.
It was on the capital improvement plan for 2023.
And what was our expected budget?
We had $20,000 for
Oh.
equipment.
So you said it was same year, make, model, everything? It's a Toro 3040 with the new motor?
What did you say?
Same year, make, model?
It's the same year, make, and model, yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's just $1,000 more with the new motor.
$1,000 more,
Okay.
but a new motor, right.
So you're paying for the motor?
Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing it says estimated cost for the shipping is $650.
That is correct.
Where's this coming from?
Michigan?
Because that'll answer my next question, is whether or not Ben's actually physically looked at this thing before we get it shipped
It
to
is
us.
from out of state, so I've talked to the sales reps for the company, but they're out of Indiana. So they ship stuff on a pallet like this frequently, so the estimated shipping cost came from them for this machine.
Okay,
Since they can fit it on a pallet and ship it freight, that's about what it costs. So I've seen pictures, but haven't physically been there, of course, due to the distance. There's not a ton of these out there, and even to look at buying new, you can't even buy one new until 2025 at the very soonest if you're on a list already approved to buy one. So, and we weren't looking at buying new anyways.
Right.
I just want to let you know that the used market is difficult right now because it's kind of competitive and not a lot of options out there. So
Is there a warranty on this currently?
there is a warranty on the motor itself, and the company has its own stand behind our sale warranty. So it gets a little difficult when it's from out of state, of course, but we would have to work through those things with them.
I know with all the availability and everything else, I was just kind of wondering whether or not we got a clause in there if it all of a sudden shows up and it's not anything close to what they showed us in pictures. Is
Sure.
there any way we're gonna be
I
able to
can
get
have some
that back
further-
without having to pay more freight and?
I can have some further conversations with them. It's a smaller company run by a couple people, so they seem like a pretty good group to work with and talk to. So it's always the same person when I call, and they've been really good about answering questions and everything. So
Okay.
they seem to be people that are respectful and stand behind what they're selling. They don't want to have issues either.
Okay, yeah, it's just one of them things that pops into your head. You
For sure.
order it and it shows up and the thing's in 5 pieces and,
Yeah,
yeah, well, you bought it, too bad, you know?
right.
So, but we trust your judgment on that, so.
Yeah, and we'll have some further conversation with them too about that if you approve it.
Okay. Any other questions? Otherwise, do I have a motion to approve Resolution 2023-55, authorizing the purchase of the Sand Pro? That would be the 2017 Toro 3040 for $14,995. That's the one with the new mower.
I'll make the motion.
We have a motion by Heidi. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Diane. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7I, approve Resolution 2023-56, approving Authors Edition Marketing Plan.
So the EDA met today and they discussed the marketing plan for the sale of the Authors Edition. The plan includes the breakdown of land versus assessment, advertising, and commission that would be paid to real estate agents if they were to bring an offer. You do see in your packet the for sale sign. That's like a 4x4 sign that's going up on the property. There'll be a brochure box in there with a marketing brochure. We're just waiting to put that up until we know exactly where the sidewalk's gonna be. It'll be right adjacent to the sidewalk on our first lot to the right when you go in. So you can kind of see it from the intersection. You'll be able to see it up there. The reason that we have the marketing plan simply is to lay out how much we would pay to a real estate agent, which they are recommending a flat fee of $750 to bring in a vacant land purchase agreement. That we would use a local closing company for the closing. City staff is also, we're also authorized to directly sell. I talked with our city attorney, and he did provide me with a vacant land purchase agreement with a fill-in-the-blank type thing that, you know, if someone just wants to come and directly work with us, they can do that. How we would market the property: billboard, information box, website, Facebook, newspaper, word of mouth, and Zillow. We can't do Realtor.com because we're not in the MLS system, because we're doing a self-sale. We're not listing it with any one person. The one thing that's a little bit different here is talking about how it's going to be marketed versus accounted for. You know, we had a land cost of how we had spread the land cost over the entire development of 80 lots for a cost of $8,125 per lot, and then the balance would reduce special assessments when there's a sale. But for marketing purposes, we would market the land somewhere between $24,000 and $25,000 for the lot, and the balance for special assessments. That mainly because to be more competitive with other vacant lots that are for sale. They buy the land, they can picture the land is this, the assessments are that, but when they were all combined together, I was getting some pushback on that, simply because I can go out in the country and buy a lot for $25,000. Why is yours 48? And I said, well, ours is 25 as well. The balance is what you would otherwise pay for a septic and well. And so it was just more of a approach to be similar to other properties to be able to sell it. So, what we're looking to do is approve Resolution 23-56, approving this marketing plan with the real estate agent commission to be paid at $750.
Comments? Questions?
I guess I just want to clarify to make sure that if anyone reviews this video who's watching or wants to hear it in person, the assessments are still due at time of purchase, at time of sale,
Yes.
not to be deferred. And
So what will happen when we have our public hearing here, the assessments will be put on the lots and deferred until sale. At sale time, then they'll be collected and paid. So the total due at sale will still be the same amount.
And it's not the intent for the special assessment to fluctuate at all based on anything,
The
lot size
assessments
or?
are the same on every lot.
Okay, just double checking.
Any other questions? Otherwise, do I have a motion to approve Resolution 2023-56?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Shallen, do I have a second? Chair will second it, I will. Call, any other discussion? Call the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions,
Aye.
motion carries 4 in favor, none against, 1 abstention. 7J, approve Resolution 2023-57 authorizing body cam purchase.
So the body cams that we have, the in-squad cameras, the tasers, and digital storage for the police department are in need of replacement. We reviewed a variety of different types of equipment, and following review, the department recommends the city proceed with Axine Enterprises, Inc. to purchase the equipment, provide ongoing maintenance and support, and cloud storage. This equipment was selected because it all communicates and integrates together with one software. So your in-squad cameras and your body cameras and all of that all integrates together with the same software, so we'll be able to eliminate some of the software subscriptions we have in exchange for this. The upfront costs for year one is $59,176.79, and this includes the new cameras, and includes everything. It includes new tasers to go with it. And then you'll see year 2 through 5, which are more of a maintenance agreement and storage agreement, but also there's replacement of equipment that goes along with that. So you have a larger upfront cost and then lesser costs in the following years. The reason that we have it here before you tonight is because the anticipation is that the funding source for this will be the public safety dollars that we'll be receiving in December. We just want to get a jump on everybody else on getting this ordered, otherwise it will be next summer before we receive it. And our body cams, we're limping them along right now, actually. So I hate to tell you that, but we're using them, and they're being able to make them work and everything, but it has become a struggle from time to time for the software communication. So we're looking to approve Resolution 2023-57, entering into the 5-year agreement for the body cams and related equipment, knowing that this won't be something that will be paid for until next year, and the purpose and the source of the funding is the public safety dollars we're receiving from the state in December. And Brian's here to answer any questions that you have on exactly how that integration works.
Okay, got any questions?
Approximately how much is the public safety grant from the state? Do we?
About $210,000.
Any other questions? Otherwise, we're looking for a motion to approve Resolution 2023-57.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Diane, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Shallen. Call the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7K, firefighter resignation.
So at the September 5th Fire Department meeting, the department received and accepted the resignation of Mike Anderson dated August 31st, 2023. Anderson was appointed to the department on November 16th, 2023, so he has been here just about 7 years. So we're looking tonight to accept the resignation of Mike Anderson from the Sauk Center Fire Department.
Okay, do I have a motion to accept the resignation of Mike?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Diane, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Heidi. Call the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7J, approve installation of traffic control signs.
So with the new intersection at Hickman, Hendricks, and
Or L, I should
Halfaday,
say.
the council to determine what signage should be installed. Previously, Hickman Drive was the through road, and then Hendricks had a stop sign, Halfaday did not exist. So we have 5 options I put in front of you. Number 1 is leave it uncontrolled, probably not a good idea. Number 2 was yield signs on Halfaday and Hendricks and let Hickman go through. 1 was stop signs on Halfaday and Hendricks and let Hickman go through. 1 is always stop, stops in all directions, and then there's the final one that is a 3-way stop, but the north and eastbound around the corner of Hickman remains, doesn't stop. So you've got 5 options to pick there. I know the city attorney city engineer has the recommendation of the 4-way or always stop. which is number 4. We're getting all kinds of feedback.
Questions, comments?
I just know that with Joe and Mayor Stone living in this area previously, they probably have a better idea of how the traffic works in there on a day-to-day basis. My inkling is the stop signs on Half a Day in Hendricks. Just considering that Hickman does turn that corner and has continued to turn that corner for as long as that road has existed. So I think a four-way just kind of inhibits the natural flow of traffic in that area.
The one thing now is if you look at that, that's actually like a regular intersection. It's a 90-degree turn. So even if it was flowed to the right all the time, you're not going to do that gradual flow anymore unless you do a lot of drifting from left to right to get, it's not going, I don't think it's going to work. Just to point that out. Anyone else have anything? I'm leaning actually at a four-way stop. And the only reason why is because, number 5, the three-way stop, the northeastbound Hickman right turn. Yeah, but the minute they come to that stop, they come to that intersection, the ones coming from the east are gonna probably anticipate that they're gonna turn right and they go straight to, and now you got a problem. So, to me, a four-way stop would make more sense.
I agree.
I think a four-way stop is excessive over there. I don't think there, with the amount of housing and traffic we're gonna have through there, would necessitate it. I look at the other intersections in this community that don't have four-way stops, actually are uncontrolled. I would say would be more risk that would, suffice controlled intersections there than making this a four-way. I think a two-way stop makes more sense there. And actually, with Half a Day in Hendricks, Hendricks had a stop sign when there were 6 houses up there. So a stop sign there isn't gonna be a big difference. And with the, 19 homes that are in the new lots and a portion of them will come Half a Day, I think the stop sign makes sense there as well to come off that. I know it's unique to have the corners like that, but I think of like the intersection in Albany that as you head to the school, you have a left-hand turn that is a straight, that's the flow of the traffic, and there's stop signs on the other two. So it's not like it's absolutely absurd that that'd be done that way, but I think a four-way stop there is overkill.
And I'm not dead set against that or any of the options basically because it's something that if we run into a situation, we can change it. Because we're the ones that control that intersection.
So then, do we just even back off even more and just say yield sign on Half a Day in Hendricks to start with? And if our police officers find that it's becoming an issue, then we can step up a little more?
Well, I mean, I look at Lakeview. I mean, we got 2 yield signs coming off of that down to Hickman. I mean, people
True.
understand the flow of traffic and
Yeah.
yield that. I mean, again, like I said, I respond from a fire call at work and I come down Fifth Street. There's no controlled intersections there, but you slow down going through an intersection.
Right.
It's not like Ash Street traffic where you've got people coming from Sinclair Lewis or 71, crossing to find the high school or something that, doesn't know the area. Most of the people, 99%, I would say, know this neighborhood or intend to know this neighborhood.
There's a stop sign at the bottom of Hendricks right now.
There
Yeah.
was. It's laying on the ground right now.
Temporary.
Well, the chief took it down? You took it down, Brian? Yield signs on those two,
Okay.
and then just leave the other two. Leave
Yeah.
Hickman open. Okay. Well, what's the council's wishes?
I'll make a motion for number 2, the yield signs on Half a Day on Hendricks.
Okay, we have a motion to put yield signs on Half a Day in Hendricks. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Schellen. Any other discussion? Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. Unfinished business, Public Works Department vacancy.
Just a few things on unfinished business. The Public Works Department vacancy has been posted. Applications will be accepted until September 21st. This is actually 1 week later than we'd originally talked about at the prior council meeting. This was due to negotiations with an existing candidate that ultimately did not take the job. So we actually got our first application in today, so we'll be getting them for the next couple weeks. It's on Facebook, in the paper, on the website, and hopefully we'll get some good reach out, and I believe it's on the League of Minnesota Cities website as well. So there'll be more to follow with there. And then item B, the Personnel Committee met with the Public Works Union, and we received their proposal for the 2024, 25, and 26 contract. And then a new meeting will be set where the city will present our response. She has not gotten back to me yet with the proposed dates. I did email her today and say, hey, we need to keep this moving along. So we'll see what that is. And then I also got the BMS notice of the union representation for the police department. So I would expect to receive a proposal from them shortly. So we'll get both unions under control. And the third item under unfinished business is that we did receive from Nature Energy information that they've informed the city that they've put a pause on their U.S. development plans at this time. So more to come there when we know more. So.
Questions on any of those three? Okay, then we will move on to new business, fees for service, fire department assessments.
So in the past, the city, then this has to do with collection of when we go out on fire calls. So in the past, we've relied on collection of fire service accounts to collection agencies or in-house collection. A collection agency, of course, they're not going to process anything without personal information such as social security numbers, which leaves these collections to our in-house collections, and each year we write off quite a bit of bad debt for the fire department. So Minnesota statute now allows cities to certify delinquent fire service bills to property tax where the fire occurred within the city's fire service area. So that could be within or without the city. It could be out in Sauk Center Township or some other where we're in our service area versus just in the city. So there's language we've proposed to be inserted in the city code, which would allow for this assessment. It says if the fire service charge remains unpaid for 30 days after the notice of delinquency is sent, the city council may also honor before October 15th of each year, certify the unpaid fire service charge to the county auditor in which the recipient of the services owns real property for collection and taxes. So I wanted to bring that to you. If you want to proceed with this ordinance, we would develop it and we'd have a public hearing set. The townships where the city has service contracts would all be notified. So this isn't something that we would do for today's unpaid bills. This would go into effect for next year. But we want to get started on it if this is something that you think we should do. I did talk to the fire chief, and he said that he felt that that was something that we should proceed with, and that gives us the option of certifying any severe delinquencies. So I'm just looking for your recommendation on how you think we should proceed with that.
Okay,
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
general consensus?
Yeah.
Or unless somebody's, okay, general consensus to proceed.
That's fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, consent agenda. I have a schedule of claims, unpaid claims of $101,488.65 for a total of the same. Resolution 2023-58, accepting contributions of $149.16 from the men's card playing group to be allocated to the senior center. $333 from Minnesota National Bank to be allocated to the police department. $333 from Minnesota National Bank to be allocated to the ambulance department, and $333 from Minnesota National Bank to be allocated to the fire department. We have $100 from Mike and Nancy No to be allocated to the police department, $100 from Mike and Nancy No for the ambulance department, and $100 from Mike and Nancy No to be given to the fire department, and $300 from Carol and Ron Funk to be allocated to the senior center. And on behalf of the council and the rest of the city, I want to thank those people or groups for their donations. Is there any questions about the consent calendar? Otherwise, do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Diane, do I have a second? Heidi seconds. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. Informational items.
So You have your Spectrum Channel lineup changes in. It's kind of a routine informational item. But I did put in here some information on our residential rental license update. You know that we started that on May 1st of this year. To date, we have 105 owners have applied for licenses for 386 rental units. That's 29 apartment buildings, 10 duplexes, 63 houses, and 3 townhome buildings. 51 of the applications for 181 units have been completed with license issued. 21 are in progress and scheduled. 33 applications are received, are to be scheduled. The deadline for applications was August 31st. As of today, there's 29 owners with 53 addresses that are still not received. 6 are awaiting verification on whether they're still a rental. 5 are in process of sale, but the new owners are going to be the applicant. And the remaining 18 will be sent to the city attorney to send a letter that it's time for them to make their application. So out of all of these units, we're down to really the remaining 18 that need to be sent the letter. So
Good.
we're having very good progress on this process.
Questions about those 2 items? If not, that brings us to the end of our agenda. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Shallen, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Diane. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. Meeting adjourned.